Hello and welcome along to the latest of the Racing Podblast with me, Tony Mack, and Ben Aiken from Narrow in the Field. Welcome along to listeners old and new. We're off to Ascot this weekend, covering 3 races from their premier race day on Saturday, including the big race of the day, the Victoria Cup. And then we take our usual trip up to Scotland for our Football Trixie in the playoffs, top, middle and bottom, a playoff special. But racing first as always, and to Ascot we go, starting with the Class 3 Peroni 0% Handicap, due off at 1:30 on Saturday. Welcome along, Ben. Can you start us off with that one? 0%.
Yeah, I bet you love a bit of 0%, don't you?
Fantastic, mate.
Every night in the pub. Anyway, 1:30 at Ascot. 12 previous renewals of this. 10 have been won by a 4-year-old, 2 by a 5-year-old. No wins yet for horses aged 6 or older. 4-year-olds do make up the majority of the horses that have run in the race. Well, the stats do stack up well. 4-year-olds have won more than the market has expected them to, so a bit of a race for the young improvers. For this year's renewal, I'll be looking at a shortlist of Think First, Masso Basti and Youthful King. Think First, he's having only his 3rd run for Neil Mulholland here, only his 2nd run on the flat for the trainer. His first coming at Epsom last month, where he finished 2nd behind a well-backed and well-handicapped Gary and Ryan Moore favourite. He had the rest of the field comfortably held, and he comes here in decent enough form. I think he can go well from a £1 lower mark at Ascot on Saturday. Masso Basti, he makes his seasonal debut here. Also makes only his 2nd start for his current trainer, Michael Bell. His last run came on the all-weather at Kempton in November in a Class 2 handicap over 1 mile 4. Finished 6th of 12 that day, but he wasn't beaten far. The race has worked out well since. 7 of the 9 runners in that race to have run again since have won at least once. Between them, the field have picked off 12 wins and 13 placed efforts. So the form of that Kempton race does look strong. Masso Basti is able to run off a £1 lower mark in this. He also won first time up last season, so he can go well off a break. Doesn't need a run to get himself up and going. Masso Basti. Youthful King, he's the other on my short list. He catches my eye as he goes well under the conditions he meets with on Saturday. When you look at Youthful King from a mark of 89 or less, off breaks of 20 days or less, he has 5 wins and 2 placed efforts from 9 starts, and he should find this more in his comfort zone than the Class 2 handicaps he's been contesting recently. It's a relatively open contest, I think, so I'll happily play 2 off my shortlist, and the 2 I like the most are Youthful King and Masso Basti. They're both currently available at double-figure prices. Youthful King around 11-1, Masso Basti at 16-1. So Youthful King and Masso Basti for me. Tony, what do you have for us?
I have one. Youthful King, by the way, co-owned by the trainer, which is always helpful. And from your shortlist, the one you've left out is the only one on my shortlist, which is Think First, who wears a first-time hood. Tomorrow for trainer Neil Mulholland, Neil Callan in the saddle, as you say, a 2nd from both starts for Neil Mulholland since a move from the James Tate yard as well. Very strange movement that, but anyway, and trainer's in good form at the minute. Obviously that'll be his jumpers as well. He's 4 wins from 14 in the last 14 days, and he's got a 57% win and place strike rate in the last fortnight. And Neil Callan rides, he does ride Ascot quite well. He's got a 26% win and place strike rate at Ascot in the last 12 months as well. So I do believe Think First can improve on his run at Epsom on seasonal debut when he was 2nd of 13, beaten 5.5 lengths, as you said, at 40-1, outrunning his odds there. He's around 10-1 tomorrow, and I think we'll have a bit of that as well. And good luck with Masso Basti and Youthful King. For Ben, on to the 205, the Peroni 0% buy. We're all having a laugh tomorrow. Peroni 0% Fillies handicap, Class 2 over 1 mile, Ben.
Yeah, 3 catch my eye in this one. Mystic Pearl, Rose Prick, and Susanna. Mystic Pearl comes here after a pipe opener on the all-weather at Kempton last month. That should tune her up nicely for this. She's 0 from 4, 1 place from 0 from 4, 1 place off breaks of more than 42 days, compared to 2 wins and 2 placed efforts from 6 starts off breaks of 42 days or less. So she does kick on for her first run back. Willie Haggis, he also has a decent record in Ascot handicaps over 7 furlongs to 1 mile 4 furlongs, especially with his 3 and 4-year-olds that start at 18 to 1 or less. Since the start of 2021, he has 13 wins and 4 places from 39 runners with those types, 33% win strike rate, 44% win and place strike rate, over 53 points profit. So Mystic Pearl catches my eye because she fits those stats here, and I think she can go well. Rose Prick also ran in the same Kempton race as Mystic Pearl last month, finishing just over 2 lengths in front of the Haggis horse in third. They were off levels that day as it was a listed contest. Rose Prick gets a £5 swing, or gets £5 from the Haggis horse here. So I expect her to be finishing very close to the Haggis horse. She's better off with the weights here, but the Haggis horse should come on for the run last time out, so it's probably not quite as simple as Rose Prick beat Mystic Pearl last time. Now receives weight, so she'd beat her again. I think they'll be quite close in this race. Her trainer Ed Walker is another that has some decent stats in Ascot handicaps since 2021, especially on the straight track and with horses that start at 11-1 or less. He has 9 wins and 5 places from 27 starts with those types, a 33% win strike rate, 52% win and place strike rate, over 40 points profit. So Rose Prick, I think, has got plenty going for her. And Susanna, the other that I'm interested in, already has a win on the Ascot straight track, winning over 7 furlongs last September. Only £3 higher here. Her trainer, Roger Charlton, is another who likes to get winners in Ascot handicaps. In recent seasons with 3, 4 and 5-year-olds on the Ascot straight track, in 7 furlong and 1 mile handicaps, she's got a 30% win strike rate and a 45% win and place strike rate, pulling in over 31 points profit. So I'd expect Susanna to be ready for this assignment. But it'd be the first 2 that I mentioned, Mystic Pearl and Rose Prick, that interests me the most. Rose Prick is around 8-1, Mystic Pearl around 10-1, both bigger in the market than I expect them to be, and those are the 2 that interest me, Mystic Pearl and Rose Prick. What you got for us in the Fillies handicap, Tony?
Yeah, I've got Rose Prick as well, mate. I do fancy Rose Prick. Ed Walker, they're in good form at the moment. The trainer is 12 wins from 44. Start is 43% win and place strike rate, so at around 17-2, Rose Prick. Hopefully he can or she can improve. The No Nay Never filly can improve on seasonal debut at Kempton on the all-weather. But it was a listed race, a 31 grand race as well, finishing third of 10, beaten just 1.5 lengths on seasonal debut. Hopefully Rose Prick can improve there. I'm with you on that one. I'm also with you with Susanna as well, who was maybe the season got a little bit long for her last year. It's disappointing at Newmarket in October, finishing 6th of 8, beaten 8 lengths for trainer Harry Charlton. William Buick's interesting jockey book in there on Susanna, who is a course winner and has won over a similar distance. And Rose Prick as well. I'm with you on that one. The other one is Mother Mary for James Ferguson and Saffie Osborne. Saffie Osborne absolutely riding out of her skin at the minute. 19 winners in the last 30 days for Saffie Osborne. Another 10 hitting the frame. A 41% win and place strike rate. Incredible stuff from Saffie Osborne, who did go to America, or she did go away for the winter and did some training and learning and educational stuff over there, and it's certainly paid off because she's riding out of her skin at the minute. Mother Mary takes a drop in class here as well on her second handicap start. She was last seen in last month, finishing 8th of 10 at Kempton, another one in that listed race. So hopefully Mother Mary at around 7-1 and Rose Prick at 17-2. Ones I'll be interested in, Susanna certainly interested, but not yet at 5-1. So we're hopefully fingers crossed there. And on the same page, good to be on the same page as Ben. On to the big one now, 240, the Victoria Cup. Class 2 handicap over 7 furlongs. We've had enough of 0% alcoholic drinks, and we're on to the Victoria Cup, and it's going to be full of champagne come 2:45.
Well, fingers crossed. Another race that generally falls the way of one of the younger horses. At 13 the last 15, been won by a horse aged 4 or 5. Indeed, 13 of the last 15 Victoria Cups were won by a horse aged 4 or 5. They were rated no more than 104 and had between 7 and 25 previous career starts. 38 of the 60 win and place horses also fitted that profile. This year, those stats would chop the field down from 23 to 8. That leaves Mostub this year, Pearl d'Or, the Wizard of Eye, Merlin the Wizard, Zero Carbon, Carraggio, Mousse the Jab, and the Londoner. A couple in there that do catch my eye. And the first of those being Pearl d'Or, who was a big eye catcher in the 7 furlong handicap on Champions Day at Ascot in October. It finished third that day, comfortably won his side of the draw, but was no match for the better drawn horses on the other side. The first, second, fourth and fifth all raced on the near side. Pearl d'Or was the only runner from the far side group to finish in the first 5. That run took his record over the straight Ascot 7 furlongs to a third, a first and a second, and it's clearly a course and distance he performs exceptionally well over. He's able to run here off the same mark of 90 that he ran off on Champions Day. He had a pipe opener for this at Newmarket last month. I suspect this has been the aim for him since that third at the track on Champions Day. So Pearl d'Or is one that I definitely want on my side. The Wizard of Eye is another that interests me. Makes his first start for Charlie Fellows here, and he's a trainer that knows how to get one ready for a race like this at Ascot. If you look at Charlie Fellows' runners in straight track Ascot handicaps over 6 furlongs to a mile, and look at those coming off a break of 16 days or more, you get figures of 8 winners and 4 placed horses from 32 qualifiers. 25% win strike rate, 38% win and place strike rate, almost 169 points profit to Betfair SP. Each way returns are just short of 160 points profit. There are also a few that finished 5th and 6th in large field handicaps, which would have paid out in a lot of books. Wizard of Eye, the Wizard of Eye, he's only had 2 previous starts in handicaps, and one of those was in last season's Golden Mile at Goodwood, where he finished 6th of 20 from a mark of 105. He runs in this of 99. It's actually 10 points below his peak rating. I think it's a mark Charlie Fellows should be able to get him winning off. So Pearl d'Or and the Wizard of Eye, I like using the trends. The other that interests me, away from the trends, is the bottom one, King's Vanity. He's a lightly raced for a 4-year-old. He's only had 4 previous starts so far. This run will be his first start on turf. His previous runs have all come on the all-weather. What really catches my eye, though, is the fact that Andrew Balding has booked Hayley Turner for the ride. Hayley Turner has some excellent stats in straight track handicaps at Ascot, especially in fields of 23 or more. Since 2018, she has had 14 rides under those conditions. She's won on 4 of them. She's placed on 3 others. She's pulled in over 90 points profit to Exchange SP, 84 points profit if you played them each way. She also got a couple more home in 5th and 6th. If you then look at her stats in straight track Ascot handicaps in fields of 23 or more, when she's riding a horse set to carry 8 stone 8 or less, you get form figures of 9th, 3rd, 1st, 6th, 1st, 3rd and 1st. King's Vanity is set to carry 8 stone 2 here. I think he's an interesting one at big prices. So 3 against the field for me here. Pearl d'Or, the Wizard of Eye and King's Vanity. What do you have for us, Tony? Victoria Cup.
I like it. I've got Pearl d'Or, as you say, a very big eye catcher. At the end of last season, only beaten 8.5 lengths. He's around 10-1. He's a course and distance winner. David O'Mara's got Sylvester de Souza in the saddle. Good to see SDS, as they like saying on telly, back with us after his journey abroad, but he's back with us this season, and he's a top jockey, still a top jockey, Pearl d'Or, and I mean, he can. He's already proved he can do it. winning in July, a handicap in July at Ascot over 7 furlongs. That was after finishing second of 9 as well over course and distance. He's got an excellent record over course and distance, Pearl d'Or. He's very much on my shortlist. Muster Jab also that you mentioned there. He won well on seasonal debut at Southwell over 7 furlongs, finishing beating 11 rivals 2 1/4 lengths, including Lion Tower off a £7 lower mark. Lewis Edmonds rides him regular. Muster Jab from stall 4 at a big price there. I also like the one you mentioned. I was very pleased you mentioned this because I was going, can't have him at that price. I can't shout that out on the Podblast. Londoner for trainer Jim Goldie. Nothing of note in his last two outings at Kempton at the beginning of April and later on in the month as well at Musselburgh over 5 furlongs. He's been running over quite bizarre distances, Jim Goldie. He had him over 11 furlongs, 1 mile and 3 at Kempton on seasonal debut. Then he run him over 5 furlongs in April at Musselburgh, finishing last of 15, beaten 14 lengths. What are you up to, Jim? What are you up to? He's got Billy Loughnane in the saddle tomorrow. Londoner at 66 to 1. I've also got Muster Jab as well that I mentioned, but there's one I must mention. He does fall out of the age trends, which I'm very much with you on that one, Ben. But what I had an interest in this horse last Saturday at Thirsk. Wob Wob Wob. Got him at 9s and 10s last week before he was backed into 6 to 1. On his second run of the season, or third run of the season, Wob Wob Wob, he was back down to a winning mark. He's gone up £4 for his win. He beat 14 rivals 3/4 of a length, including Mystical Phoenix, who was second. But he was pushed along at halfway. Oisin Orr, absolutely, if you get a chance to look at this, what a absolutely patient ride this was. He didn't get a clear run too furlong out. He was switched right, he switched left, he switched right again, and then he just got a gap on the inside. I thought he was going to come down the outside, but he just nipped into the inside, saw a gap, ran on well against the near rail to lead inside the final, and he won going away as well. Absolutely brilliant ride if you get a chance to watch it. I could have done with Oisin Orr being on him tomorrow, but David Egan takes a ride, a worthy substitute there for trainer Adrian Keatley, whose yard is in good form at the minute. So yes, tomorrow definitely on the side of Wob Wob Wob, but my shortlist is Pearl d'Or. My main one is Pearl d'Or in that one, and a cheeky sporting each way on Londoner tomorrow in the Victoria Cup. Good luck, everyone, if you're playing the Victoria Cup. Right now, it's time for top, middle and bottom playoff special.
Oh, golly, what a volley! The great thing about loving football is you cannot explain why you love it. It just happens. Chasing a ball round a park, wanting one team to win against the other.
El Mahoney, right foot, whips it. Oh, jeez, he peeps, man.
Yes, here we go. The bit of the pod you've all been waiting for. Top, middle and bottom playoff special. Here you go, Ben, for last week's total. Oh, it doesn't matter. Move on to your selections.
Just like last week, just the one winner for both of us, -4 points. Current state of play, me, plus 0.75. I'm hanging on. Tony, -33.17. And as you say, it's a playoff special this week, which means our torture is almost over. My top, middle and bottom this week. Top, Partick Thistle to beat Airdrie at 6 to 5. They fought out a 2-all draw in the first leg of this fixture on Tuesday. I think Partick can get the better of this tie in the home leg. They've won their last 10 matches at home against Airdrie. Airdrie have failed to keep a clean sheet in the last 16 matches against Partick. Partick just loves scoring against the Diamond, so I'm taking Partick to kick off my top, middle and bottom. That's a Friday match. I think I said before, Partick Thistle will play at Firhill. Their floodlights are set, are big concrete structures, and to make them safe, they strap some crash mats to the bottom of them in case some players slide into them. That's how they do it in Scotland. Crazy stuff. Don't know how they get away with it. But yeah, Partick Thistle to beat Airdrie. At middle, Stirling Albion and Dumbarton to draw at 12-5. Dumbarton take a 1-goal lead into this second leg. Not convinced Stirling have enough left in the tank to turn the tie around. They've been struggling recently. Only won 2 of their last 10, lost 6 of them. A pump for the draw here, which would be enough to see our favourite sons, Dumbarton, through the tie. And bottom, East Kilbride to beat Stranraer at 4-5. East Kilbride come into this as Lowland League champions. They've won 26 of their 34 matches, lost only 5. They scored a whopping 96 goals in the process. They face a Stranraer side who have been on the slide for months now. They also travel poorly. They only won 1 of their last 18 away matches in the second division. Lost 12 of them. Scored only 11 times away from home. Conceded 34, and I think they're there for the taking for East Kilbride. So I'll take them to round out my top, middle, and bottom, which is top Partick Thistle, middle Stirling and Dumbarton to draw, and bottom East Kilbride. Tony, over to you.
Going for it here. Going for it. This will be interesting because we're going against 2 of yours. Cali Thistle at home to Montrose, 1-3. Going in heavy there. Cali Thistle at home to Montrose, 1-3. Stirling at home to Dumbarton, 5-6. Stirling at home to Dumbarton at 5-6. And Stranraer away at East Kilbride, 11-4. Oh dear. Minus 33.17. I do apologise, anyone who's been following me. We were both in profit last year, weren't we, mate?
We were.
Well, we can do a Euros. Don't forget, everybody, a Euros special coming next month. You'll be excited to hear that. Many thanks for listening to the latest edition of the Racing Podblast. Very best luck with your betting at Ascot this weekend. And if you feel like getting funky on a Friday night, you can catch the Tony Mac Groove Express on Heritage Chart Radio, which is owned by Mr. Mike Reid and all that of Radio 1 Breakfast Show and all that years ago, between 1900 hours and 2100 hours, leaving from platform Heritage Chart Radio tonight at 1900 hours. And you can catch more from Ben over on narrowingthefield.co.uk. Big thanks for listening this week. Welcome to listeners old and new. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week with the next instalment of the Racing Podblast. Cheers, Ben.
Cheers, Don.